Oh, it's blissful. I love it up here. This is like an untouched wilderness. It's like a rare place, on the planet. My name is Father Daniel Mary. I am the prior of the Carmelite Monks of Wyoming. In the year 2001, God gave me a very strong calling to found a monastery in the pristine wilderness of Wyoming, a monastery dedicated to Our Lady of Mount Carmel. Praise be Jesus Christ. Welcome to the monastery of Our Lady of the New Mount Carmel. In the near future, the monks here at the New Mount Carmel Monastery are going to become cloistered. So this is a golden opportunity for us to bring you in, to peer into the life of a monk. Come on in and follow me. The preeminent mark of the Carmelite monk of Wyoming is that we are called to a profound, deep filial union with the Blessed Virgin. We believe that that's where the real grace and the real power for the priesthood to be renewed and rejuvenated with grace, that it's going to come from the cloistered contemplative life generating that grace. That's what a monk does. The Carmelite monks begin their day in the middle of the night. At about 11:40, the monks are woken up by a bell, and the monk gets up and he immediately prostrates on the floor to make his morning offering. Then he prepares himself to go to choir, to begin the midnight office of matins and lauds. But in the middle of the night, the monk is already purchasing grace for souls all over the world. Now, after this office, which takes about an hour and 20 minutes, the monk returns to his hermitage, yes, to go to bed again. At 5:40, the choir monks wake up. Once assembled again in chapel, the bells are rung for Angelus. After the Angelus, the brothers prepare for the office of prime. Now, during the office of prime, which is a unique office, the monks also have the martyrology read, which is the readings about the saint of the next day. After prime, the lay brothers go to their chapel for their low mass. The choir monks begin their mental prayer for 1 hour. And at 7:25, they assemble in chapel for the office of terce. The High Mass follows terce. We have beautiful Gregorian chant being sung, and everything is done according to the Carmelite rite and all the rubrics of the Carmelite rite, which dates back to the 1100s. After the solemn High Mass, the monks go to the refectory for breakfast. And during this season, we stand as one of the Carmelite penitential practices. After breakfast, the monks go to their various workplaces. As you can see, the monastery here at the New Mount Carmel is under construction. This work is being done solely by the monks. All of the stone carving, all of the masonry work, even woodwork. One of the industries that has served us well is Mystic Monk coffee.
The vision from the very beginning was, Bishop Ricken told us we needed an industry as monks to support ourselves. One of the brothers came to Father Prior and was like, Father Prior, I think roasting coffee could actually be really profitable and just really good for our monasticism.
So we started off with a very small roaster, and it was in a very small shop. This was right at the beginning of e-commerce, so we figured we need to sell it online. Our first many years, I guess, was just kind of repeat customers and also word of mouth. Someone tried it, oh, that's great, I'll have some more. So that was kind of how it kept snowballing.
I really feel that Our Lady, she really had this in mind because she wanted this Gothic monastery to be here for just countless young men to be able to come and give their lives to God.
You can't have a Gothic monastery without Gothic carving, so we set this place up Back when we first started looking at building a Gothic monastery, we went to several companies to see if someone could carve the stone for us. And when we got the pricing, we almost had a heart attack. And we knew there was only one option, and that was to do it ourselves. Before I started carving stone, I was working in Mystic Monk Coffee. I was actually one of the coffee monks that would roast coffee, and so came in with completely no background and no understanding. We had a lot of help from the machine manufacturers, but in the end, there weren't too many people that actually did this kind of carving, and there still aren't today. So a lot of it, we kind of just had to learn ourselves. So here we see our wire saw. So this is basically the machine that processes the raw blocks from the quarry, and it'll do a number of things from simply slicing off the rough material, or to right now, as you can see, it's actually profiling. So it's cutting intricate pieces and shapes out of the stone that will then either go directly in the wall or we'll take it further in the system and to process further into the fine detail. This is where we actually carve the fine detail into our pieces, into all the stones. So it actually starts off, one of the monks will design in a computer the actual 3D model, all of the leaves and vines and everything. And then he'll hand off that 3D model to another monk who will actually program all the coordinates that you see running here on this screen, program everything for how the machine will come in and put in all those fine details into each stone. Italy is still the leader in stone manufacturing, stone carving, and so these machines actually came straight from Italy.
So here we are up at Hermit Valley. We're at the pad that we're building for a hermitage for a hermit that's going to be an anchorite. So he will live completely in solitude on a 15 to 20 acre plot up here in the mountains. It will be walled off. It'll be like an enclosure within the enclosure. As far as a hermit or a monk, this is the highest vocation that you could aspire to. It takes a very special kind of person to do this. And he's not alone, okay? Here's the reality. When you go into this kind of anchoritic solitude, you become united with every soul throughout the world. And he's drawing that grace, bringing it down, through his life of penance, through the vows, through fasting, through continual prayer. And that does make him united with every soul on the planet. The monks end their work at 11:15 to prepare for the office of sext. After this office, the bells ring again for the Angelus at 12 noon. Then the monks process down to the refectory. We have readings from sacred scripture, the lives of the saints, and the monks eat in silence with their hoods up during this season. After lunch, the monks process back to the chapel for the afternoon prayer called None. After None, the monks immediately go to recreation, which can be inside as a community, where we gather in a circle and tell stories. Maybe we should put a sign up that says, be aware, high voltage. And there's a lot of laughing, fun-heartedness. Spiritual high voltage. Or we go out and we might play a game of football, if they're young monks, of course. After recreation, some of the monks go back to work, while the other younger monks attend class.
Lexio Quinta, page 16. Why don't we do this? Let's just dive right in and start translating.
In the middle of the work period, about 3 o'clock, a bell is usually rung in the various industries or places of the monastery, where the monks in that place will come together and do the chaplet of divine mercy, with their hands extended in the form of a cross. Work ends at about 4:30, and monks then begin to prepare for the office of Vespers, which is chanted in full Gregorian chant from our chorales. After Vespers, monks go to their hermitage to do mental prayer, and they use this time to really intercede for the world and to grow closer in their union with God and the Blessed Virgin Mary. After mental prayer, the monks go to the chapel for the 6:30 Angelus. After the Angelus, they process down to the refectory where we have supper. And again, during the meal, there is reading from the lives of the saints or the Carmelite writings of our great saints like St. Teresa and St. John of the Cross. After the rosary, we have Compline, which again is in full Gregorian chant. This then is the last office of the day, known as night prayer. And the monks begin the great silence after Compline, and they go to their hermitages to retire to solitude. When this monastery is completed, we believe that this holy place up here at the new Mount Carmel will generate grace for the whole world through the intercession of our Blessed Virgin Mary of Mount Carmel. Yeah, it's all my vision over time. I never dreamed we would be doing all the things we're doing. I think it does take someone, pretty, gutsy, maybe you could say. But that's my quality, I guess, that I have, is that I'm not afraid of much of anything.
Well, thank you again to my good friend, Father Daniel Mary. We're very appreciative because these Wyoming monks opened their doors, allowing myself and our camera crew from EWTN in behind the scenes of their cloister. Now it has been closed, and we'll never have another opportunity to see the day in the life of a monk like we just did in this piece. So God bless you and all of the monks for what you do in prayer for the church.